If you're in your late 30s, 40s, or 50s and you feel stuck in your relationships, career, business, health, finances, or any of these areas or combinations, you want to watch this video all the way till the end because I will share with you the top 4 completely ignored reasons why we get stuck and how to get unstuck immediately. You've probably watched tons of videos already on getting unstuck. Maybe you've worked with a coach, a therapist, or a mentor, and maybe you've tried different strategies and tactics to get unstuck or try to overcome the areas where you're challenged at the moment and you're struggling, and nothing is working. And the reason why it's not working is not because the tactics and the strategies are not working, but because we're trying usually to fix what's not working by taking a different action, by modulating our behavior. And that's not how it works, because action is not the cause of things happening. Action is actually the effect. The cause is the mindset. And until we change the mindset and this programming that's modulating our actions, things will not change, or at least they're not going to change in a sustainable way. So all that being said, let's now go into the top 4 reasons why people get stuck, especially in midlife, and how to address these issues one by one. The first big reason for being stuck that's completely ignored and not talked about is this: desiring something that's not authentic to you. Desiring something that's out of alignment with who you truly are, with your deepest values, what you truly value in life, with what you're truly meant to do authentically. When you pursue goals that are not authentic to you, it will always feel like forced. It will feel hard. It will feel like climbing an uphill. It will feel like you're trying too hard. You will feel exhausted. And if you make things work, they're not going to stay, or you'll find a way to sabotage them. I'll give you an example. In the past, many years ago, I created a bakery. I started a bakery and I was a baker for 3.5 years. I was good at it, but that was not what I was meant to do. And eventually I had to sabotage it. I didn't know it at the time, but I had to sabotage it. Another story. I used to be a handgun instructor. Can you imagine this? I was very good at that. I taught people how to shoot handguns, but I also had to sabotage this because why? It's not authentic to who I am. I am a teacher. I am somebody who connects dots. I'm somebody who explains things well, in a way that makes sense to people, in a way that gives them a different perspective, that rewires them. And that's what I'm meant to do. And that's what I'm doing right now. This is what flows to me. Everything else feels hard and feels like I'm forcing it. It feels like I'm trying to open a door where it's just a wall there, but the door is right next to me and I don't see it because I am not authentic to who I am. So the point is this: when you take action on goals that are not authentic to you, you will be prevented from achieving these goals, not because they're not possible, they are, but because they're not authentic to who you are and how you're meant to express in this world. So how do you fix this? The way to fix it is to be honest with yourself about what you truly value in life, what's really working for you in life, and what's coming effortlessly to you, what others are finding value in something that you do that's really effortless for you. It's not even registering as an action. Answer these 2 questions. Is what I want truly what I want, or is it one of the shoots I've learned from parents, teachers, friends, society, media? And the next question is, what truly gives me happiness and joy? The second huge reason for being stuck in midlife and later is this: subconscious programming. Consciously desiring X, but the subconscious programming is programmed for Y. The thing is that we desire things with our conscious mind. Our desires are coming from our conscious mind. But what actually happens in life is coming from our subconscious mind, because 95% of the actions we take or don't take are governed by our subconscious programming, not by our conscious mind. So desires are built by our conscious mind, but they don't become part of our subconscious programming. What manifests in life, the circumstances that we eventually create by taking specific actions or being in inaction or in reaction, are the circumstances that are consistent with our subconscious programming. So for example, maybe you're stuck in your relationship and you don't feel valued. Well, maybe when you were growing up, you were frequently ignored or dismissed by one or both of your caregivers, and you developed this belief that you don't matter, that you're not important. And of course, this has to manifest in your relationship, and you have to make it mean that you're not valued because you don't matter. That's the subconscious programming. Or maybe in your career, maybe you believe that I'm not smart enough, and you frequently get passed for promotions, and then you wonder what's happening. Well, that's what your subconscious belief is. I'm not smart enough. Others are smarter. Others get ahead faster than me. I don't have what it takes. And of course, that has to manifest in the circumstances as well. Or in your business, maybe you have the belief that if it's done right, I have to do it myself. And you have problems with scaling and you feel stuck in your business because you can delegate because you have that belief. If it's gonna be done right, I have to do it myself. Or in your finances, you may have the subconscious programming of money is hard to make, or money comes but it doesn't stay. And of course, it has to manifest that way in your circumstances so that you can find proof that these beliefs are true. I have to mention something personal about money beliefs. And I've had many money beliefs coming from being born and raised in communism. But one of them that I unpacked, that I was literally shocked, was this. Every time I tried to imagine having millions and millions of dollars net worth, it always felt possible on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, it felt like, I felt a little not always here in my solar plexus, and I didn't know what that was. And that told me something, and I already knew enough to know that something is there, something that's blocking me from within myself, from my subconscious mind. And I wanted to unpack this. And when I got to the bottom of it, I was literally shocked, because what I realized was that I had the belief that if I have a big wealth, that will change me in a way that I don't like myself. And then I had to think, where is this coming from? And I realized in my early childhood and early teenage years, I grew up in communism, and the only people who had a lot of wealth and money back then were the communist leaders, and they were also the oppressors. And of course, if I have a lot of money, I will be an oppressor, and I don't want to be an oppressor. And of course, I will not have a lot of money. I will not feel good about having wealth because I don't want to oppress people. To see how insidious these beliefs are and our subconscious programs. And until you get to the bottom of that, you don't know what's hiding there and how you're sabotaging your own efforts in life. So how do you fix this? How do you change this subconscious programming? Well, look at the areas in your life where you feel stuck, where you feel things are not going well, where you're challenged, and realize that deep down, this is what you believe you deserve. And I know it sounds very shocking to say it that way, but that's the reality, because consciously, you know you don't want that. Absolutely not. But subconsciously, that's what you're programmed for. So find these beliefs that are creating these circumstances and change them, and that will change the circumstances. So for example, if you feel unlovable and that's causing you to sabotage every new relationship that you enter, change that, and that will change the future circumstances. This was my case, by the way. I was in my childhood, I have a younger sister, and my father would always engage with my sister, and he would never play with me. So I felt dismissed, I felt ignored, and I had to make that mean, well, I'm not lovable enough, I'm not likable, my father doesn't love me. And that had to manifest in the future in my relationships. So I sabotaged 2 marriages until I discovered that that's how I felt. And I had to make that manifest by sabotaging my own relationships. So find out the beliefs that are creating the circumstances that you feel challenged and stuck in, and change these beliefs. And here is the third big reason for being stuck: negative beliefs loops. Interpreting present circumstances as the evidence for the beliefs that created them, usually negative and limiting beliefs. This is how insidious beliefs are. Beliefs create our circumstances, and then we look into these circumstances, we read the circumstances and we go, see, I knew it. And this reinforces the same beliefs that created the circumstance. That's how beliefs stay alive. And we know that 75% on average of our beliefs are negative and limiting. Why? Because we know 75% of the time people think negative thoughts. And so you can imagine how we constantly create circumstances we don't desire, but then we take these circumstances and we go, see, I knew it's not working. See, I knew I was not meant for that. See, I knew I'm not good enough. So for example, maybe you have a chronic condition, health condition, and you frequently go to doctors and do examinations and nothing is working. And then you go, see, I knew it's not going to work. I knew it's in my genes. I knew cannot be fixed. It works for others, but it's not going to work for me. Why? Because you're reading the circumstances and then you feed the same beliefs that created these circumstances, because that's how it all started. And that reinforces the same beliefs and it's a downward loop. You see? So how do you fix this? Well, realize that your present circumstances, and this is a crucially important point to make. Your present circumstances are a manifestation of past thoughts and past beliefs. They're not a manifestation of who you are today. They don't represent what you believe right now. So if you read into your current circumstances, present circumstances, as a reflection of who you are today, you keep reinforcing these negative and limiting beliefs. So realize that there is a lag time, there is a delay between thinking and believing in a certain way and taking or not taking the actions that stem from these beliefs and the feelings and emotions that arise from them, and things materializing in hard, tangible reality. There is a delay and there is a good reason for that, and we don't need to go into this, but the things that you think today will be manifested in the future. Your circumstances today, the places where you struggle right now and where you feel stuck, they're not a reflection of what you think and believe right now. Things may have changed already for you. But if you read the circumstances in a way where you make it mean that this is still a problem in you, then you keep reinforcing these same old beliefs that you're trying to shed anyway. Do you see how this is working? So now you're probably going, well, if I don't read my current circumstances, how do I interact with my reality? What should I read then? And the answer is this: read the visions that you're creating for the results that you actually want. Basically, what I'm asking you to do is to deny your external senses in a way that you don't allow your brain to read from what's outside to decide what's true for you right now and for what you believe and who you truly are. But live in the vision that you have for what you want to experience in your relationships, career, business, health, finance, sense of purpose, whatever the area is. Create that vision and live in that vision so that you trust your internal senses, and these internal senses are reinforcing the new beliefs that are creating the new circumstances. And of course, you have to wait for these new circumstances to show up because of this delay effect that's crystallizing in tangible reality. And finally, the fourth big and completely ignored reason for getting stuck in midlife and later: needing to know the how. Needing to know all the action steps before you take action, needing to understand how you will get to your destination. This is a huge one. Understand that when you create a conscious plan, well, obviously it's coming from your conscious mind, but your conscious mind is very limited because it can only look in the past for reference, your past and the past of the people you know or what you know from media. And that's what it projects in the future. This is the limited pool from which you try to create the action plan. But the conscious mind has zero access to pure possibility. It has only access to probability based on your past. So the actions that you will create, if you want to know all the steps, will be limited and will be probable based on your past and what you know. But they won't be including the field of possibility. And this is very limiting. Or sometimes what we do, instead of creating our own action plan, we go out looking for other people who have the action steps. We look for the strategies, for the tactics, as I started this video, and we want to know all the steps before we start taking action. But that's not how it works. See, if you're going to drive a car in the middle of the night from New York to Philadelphia, let's say, you're not getting in the car and going, no, I can't start driving because I'm not seeing all the road all the way to Philadelphia. No, you start driving and you trust that the next 100 yards or meters, wherever you are in the world, will show up for you. They'll be revealed for you. So that's the point. Take the first step, the step that you know right now, and then the second step will be revealed to you. This is how it really works. It's not by creating an action plan. That's why most people fail. That's why I've failed so many times in the past, because I take somebody else's action steps and I try to execute them in my own experience, but it doesn't work because it's not authentic to me to relate to the first point that I mentioned. So the point is this: trust that when you take the first step, the next step will be revealed to you, and the next and the next and the next. But you cannot stay in your conscious mind trying to create a conscious plan for getting there. The frequent example I give to my clients is this: tell me, how did you meet your spouse, your wife or your husband, or the person you're in a relationship with? And they go, and I asked them, did you create a very careful plan step by step, and then you started executing on that plan? On this date, I will go to this restaurant, and then on that table, 2 tables away, there will be this person, and then a friend of ours will be a common friend, and they will introduce. No. The usual answer I get from my client was, it just happened, or they just showed up, or it was just a coincidence. We were at the same place at the same time, or something like that. And so I'm urging you to examine all these significant things that you value in your life, and how much of that was your conscious action plan, or how much of this was caused by your conscious plan. And you'll realize that it's very, very minimal, if any at all. In my calculations, it's probably 1 to 3% of how much we need to show up for action for the things that we want to happen. It's not happening from the action and from creating the plan. It's happening from having a clear intention of what we want to create, and then following the intuition. This is the key word. This is how you fix this part. You don't need to know the how. You need to follow your intuition. You need to be open for guidance. You need to be open for that first step, and then listen for the next step, and then listen for the next step. And oftentimes it's not going to make any sense to your logical mind. It might be, open this book right now and start reading this book. Why? It doesn't make sense. Do it. It might be, get out of the house and go to this coffee shop. Go do it right now. It might be, call this friend or email this person, and it doesn't make any sense. Somebody you haven't been in touch with for months or years, and all of a sudden something's telling you you need to email them. Do it. Don't hide behind procrastination or avoidance or addictions. And by addictions, I mean ways to hide, ways to escape from what you know you need to take action on. This is the action you need to take. This is the inspired action. This is the guided action versus, and here I'm going to make a very important distinction, forceful action. Action that's coming from inadequacy, insecurity, lack, fear, anxiety, worry, apprehension. All of these actions are forceful actions, and they're scared actions, and they don't create the results that we want. In fact, they reinforce the beliefs that are creating the circumstances that keep us stuck, thus creating even more evidence of that and more of this reality that we don't want. So the distinction I'm making here is, you don't need to know the how. All you need to know is the first step. The first step, you always know the first step. Take that step immediately without delay, and trust that the next step will be revealed to you. Get in the car, turn on the lights, and just start driving, because you know the next few yards will be revealed for you as you drive. And that is inspired action. That is guided action versus creating a plan from scarcity, from lack, and from fear, and acting on that plan and then wondering why you're stuck in life, why you have challenges, why these challenges keep repeating all the time, and you never seem to get farther along in your career or business or in your relationships or health or financial situation. So this is the fourth point, and this is how you take care of it. This is how you fix it. Wow, that was a mouthful. So there you have it now. the 4 top completely ignored reasons for stuckness and how to get unstuck. If you loved this video, please let me know in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you're notified the next time I post a video. And if you're going through a midlife burnout or a crisis, or you feel stuck in one or more areas in your life and you need help navigating that, there is a link in the description below where you can request a discovery call with me. And let's chat, and I'll see if and how I can help you and support you through the challenges that you're going through. Also in the description below, there are a lot of other links where you can find resources that might be of help to you right now. And remember, being stuck is a normal experience of life. It's not about never getting stuck or getting unstuck as soon as possible. That is nice. But the real treasure is in overcoming the challenges. That is why we're here. We're not here to be constantly happy or constantly joyous. We are here to evolve as human beings, to grow and to expand and to learn to love ourselves more and to love others more, and to learn to have happiness and joy in life. So being stuck and going through challenges, that's a normal part of life. In fact, it's a required part of life. I usually tell my clients and people that if we can only get the things that we want, we will completely miss our own personal growth, because we will avoid the challenges that we're here to go through. And so, yeah, happiness is nice, but it's not about being happy all the time either, because happiness is a starting point. It's not something we even get to. Happiness is not having rigid expectations about the future and being okay with the reality that we are in right now. So the bottom line is this. It's not about not having challenges. It's not about not being stuck. It's not about being happy all the time. It's about doing the work, and in overcoming these challenges, we find our way to true happiness, because all of it comes from within. Love you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.